Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, and I'm just checking it on you. Sorry, I've been on YouTube watching videos, teach yourself how to sing. Oh, boy! I've lost count. Was this week 5? Week 5. All right. This is the only way out of this shit. Okay? I think they either need to come up with a vaccine or a fucking test everybody can take. That's it. That's it. Because this fucking self-quarantine shit, it's just not working. It's just not working. People, you got too many mouth breathers. There's too many homeless people. There's too many conspiracy theorists. It's just, how do you hurt them? There's only one way to do it. And that's how this country was conquered. It's done with the gun. Anyway. Trying to enjoy this time off, people. Try to enjoy it. As much as you can. As much as you can. Oh, by the way, Lady Gaga is doing a concert to help out. Fucking brilliant marketing. Marketing. Brilliant marketing. You know that we're all in this together? She somehow twists that into an economic thing. It's fucking brilliant. All these people celebrities are going like, yeah, we're all in this together. Everybody just fucking pull in the same direction. Imagine there's no heaven, right? So, so then she comes out. She goes, fucking saying we're all in this together. It's a nice sentiment, but the reality is if you're a billionaire, you're not in the same situation as someone who's a single mom who's getting the shit kicked out of her over a Foreman grill. Fucking brilliant. She turned it into an economic thing rather than being like, it doesn't make a difference if you got $1 billion or no money. If you're out there breathing on people, this thing ain't gonna fucking end. She turned it into an economic thing. Right? Said the most obvious thing ever. Because I have to be honest with you, I had no idea that someone who had $1 billion had it easier to fucking hang in their house than someone with no fucking money. You know, it's like, lady, you know who had it easier? You know who had it worse? You know who's fucking laughing at all of this shit? All this complaining? Anne Frank! Anne Frank spent 3 years behind a fucking wall. Did they stop making that required reading? How long was Anne Frank behind that fucking wall? Can you imagine standing behind a fucking wall with your whole family for like 3 years, hoping the Nazis aren't going to get you? And then people, oh my God, I'm losing my mind in my studio apartment with my fucking PlayStation. But brilliant marketing, because then everybody started arguing, and then speaking in sound bites about people being tone deaf. All right, wait, what are we doing here? How long was Anne Frank behind the wall? All right, here we go. See, Anne Frank, how long was Anne Frank? How long, who snitched on Anne Frank? See, it's getting crazy here with the Anne Frank stuff. Anne Frank, okay, behind the wall, gave me nothing. Hiding. Why can't you just give me an answer? Like, what I hate too is, not to belittle Anne Frank here, but when you go, how long should I bake a potato? You used to just pop up and there was an answer. And then now it's all these fucking like super fancy fucking cooking sites. So you just click on one thinking it's going to be typed out somewhere, and it isn't. It's just, ever since I was a kid, I love baked potatoes. I liked him with bacon. I liked him with broccoli. I like him with broccoli and cheese. And you have to go through like fucking 9 pages of them just stretching out this horse shit so you can scroll past these ads that they're getting credit for. All right, Anne Frank. All right. Jesus Christ. 1942, and her family went into hiding. Franks were discovered in 1944. She spent 2 years. 2 years. Worrying that the most evil people on the earth who were hunting her people down. She had to fucking deal with that. And what do we got? We got a glorified cold here. Lady Gaga, I got to tell you, that was masterful. Masterful. Because then everybody underneath started arguing about it. But then meanwhile, they're reading about her concert. It's fucking brilliant. Then you also frame yourself as, I'm the person that has money, but still understands you and your ramen noodles. Can't you tell I'm down to earth? I don't wear pants. Whatever. I'm just being a fucking idiot. There's nothing to talk about. Do I really give a shit about what Lady Gaga said? No, I don't. It's one of the worst fights in my relationship. It was the time I went to her concert because my wife wanted to go, and the New England Patriots happened to lose a playoff game to the Ravens that afternoon, and I was a good 6-7 beers in. That didn't end well. That did not end well. That was the next day. My wife was not talking to me, and I couldn't figure out why. And I finally had to ask her because I continued drinking at the concert. Because what else was I going to do? You know, look at that poor horse that she had parading around the fucking thing, and I got in my head. I'm like, what's with the horse? Did they take it on the road? Is that fucking thing on the road right now? Is it making as little money as the band is? That's inside a castle that I can't even fucking see because God forbid people fucking look at the band for 2 seconds. Yeah, she said I said Jesus fucking Christ, which I remembered saying, but I said it once. She said, you said it like 9 times. And I was just like, all right, fair enough. And that was the last time she ever went to a pop star concert with me. You know, I've been trying to repair the damage in the relationship, but I think the damage is done. All right, I hate having to fucking do this, but this always happens now, I guess, at my fucking age. Rest in peace, Vic Henley, man. I can't, it doesn't even fucking make sense, man. I think the shock of this one, Vic died, I think, I don't know, a couple days ago. I don't want to fucking get into it. But what a fucking great guy. You know, I was reading a lot of stuff that other comics were writing, and they were like, never had a bad word to say about anybody. And I never even noticed that. He was just such a fun guy to be around. And it was true. And I actually did a gig with him when I first came to New York. I don't remember where the fuck we were at. I wanted to say we were at that Catch a Rising Star that was out in New Jersey. Something like that. I think that's where it was. And he was just the nicest fucking guy. We rode out together. I think he drove, too, which was really cool. Asked if I wanted to ride out there and just shot the shit. I remember he talked to me like I was a peer, you know, rather than some young kid on the way up. You know, he'd been doing it longer than I had. And, you know, all kinds of life advice. Just a really, really sweetheart of a guy. Unfortunately died over the last week here of a pulmonary embolism, I guess. So Vic Henley, rest in peace. Thank you for being such a great guy, cool guy, and all of that. And gone way, way, way too soon at 57. All right. And now how do you follow that up? You talk about what the dumb shit you watched on fucking YouTube. I don't know why, but I've got into watching animals kill other animals. I don't know why. It just fascinates me. Like my mini series is watching the Hatfields and the McCoys of the Serengeti, the fucking lions and hyenas. And I'm just fascinated with how they fucking hate each other so much that if they find one or the other by themselves, they have the numbers. They just jump them, just straight up kill them. They don't even eat them. They just kill them. And which makes me wonder how the fuck you as a hyena or you as a lion get separated from the pride when you know that shit's out there. I saw another one time. Somehow, a whole herd of this fucking buffalo had this lion like surrounded. He was up on this high ground, and they just fucked him up, sent him flying in the air, ass over fucking tea kettle. And I'm just sitting like, where the fuck are all his friends? Did he take a nap up on that little hill? I'll catch up with you later. And they just fucked this thing up. But the worst one I saw, I saw this wild boar fucking kill a baboon. Like, it was just an old fucking baboon. And the boar kind of comes up to the thing like, hey, what's up with this fucking thing? And then his friend kind of comes up from behind. And, those fucking wild boars, they got those big goofy fucking tusks. You really don't think anything about them. They don't look that sharp. They kind of look dull on the end, rounded off like a fucking butter knife, right? So his friend comes up behind him, fucking knifes the dude in the back, and then fucking takes off. Because I think he's used to these fucking baboons. Baboons are weird, man. They look like monkeys, but when they open their mouth, they look like fucking lions, right? They got these crazy fucking canines there. And, they get respect. Like when lions and fucking leopards and shit, when they go after baboons, they make sure that they're not past a certain age. They get these baboons where they still got their braces on, basically, right? The leopard ones are fucking amazing, man. They fucking just run up a goddamn tree. Just run up the fucking thing. The baboon's trying to get on the smaller part of the fucking branch. Fucking leopard knocks the baboon off. And then literally just as the baboon falls, the thing leaps down in the air. I'm talking like fucking 25, 30 feet in the air. No problem. Baboon lands, takes a step and a half to run. The leopard's already on the ground, and it's fucking over. Hang on a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Fucking tickle in my nose that was driving me nuts. Is it a corona tickle? All right. So anyway, this fucking... Maybe it was in the front of the baboon. He fucking knifes the thing. The guy does flips in the air, and then the fucking pig takes off like it's scared. Because it's probably like, he's a fucking baboon. I know he's got these crazy teeth in there, right? And the fucking thing takes off. And the other one was behind it, was just like, wait a minute. The thing was sort of limping away. So this was fucking unreal. The fucking second one, he knifes this baboon like 2-3 times up against a tree. Guys, like a fucking gang hit inside of a prison. And then he does the last one. He did like a fucking swoop with his tusk, and at the same time, as he does it, pulls out the fucking things like, I don't know what, small intestine, and fucking starts chowing down on it immediately. Horrific. But I gotta tell you, these fucking baboons got it coming. They eat everything they have alive. I'll tell you a great one, man. If you just want to see like how amazing these fucking baboons are, which I really don't like these goddamn things. All right? I don't like any animal that doesn't have the decency to fucking kill the thing that it's going to eat first. I get it with reptiles, They got that little ass brain. But like bears, baboons, those fucking wild dogs. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, plowing ahead here. I don't know why I started watching that shit. And then anytime I see an animal eat another animal alive, then I have to watch a video of that species of animals getting killed. All right, good. Fuck you. That's for your buddy there eating that fucking impala alive. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, people. I'm not watching the news. There's nothing to fucking talk about. And I thought I had the genius podcast with no goddamn guests. I don't have any fucking guests. This isn't going to change. I guess I have to start watching the fucking news because I'm watching animals kill each other. I'm watching NFL highlights from the 1970s. I learned about a New England, let me find this guy's fucking name. I learned about a New England Patriots quarterback that was between Babe Pirelli and fucking Jim Plunkett. I just lost everybody under the age of fucking 60. The fuck was this guy's name? Which got me into finding the oldest living NFL players. Here we go. This guy, I can make sure I say his name right. Mike Tollifer. Spelled Tall or Tali. I can't. My has a fucking shot. Aferro. Mike Tollifer. He played for like 4 or 5 years with the Patriots. Was the starting quarterback between Babe Pirelli and fucking Jim Plunkett. And I didn't know that Joe Kapp finished his career with the Patriots. 1970, when Mike Talifer wasn't working out, they went back and forth with Joe Kapp. And then we had Jim Plunkett came in 71, 72, 73, 74. Got blamed because we stunk. And then we got Steve Grogan out of Kent State or whatever, 75. He sort of got the starting job from Jim Plunkett. And then Grogan had the job till 80. Then Matt Cavanaugh kind of took it from him. Then Grogan took it back in 82, 83. Then Tony Eason had 3 years. And then Grogan took it back from him. I don't know if Eason ever recovered from that fucking Super Bowl 20 loss. Or the NFL recovered from the Patriots or something. Their confidence in him. I don't know what. And then Doug Flutie. This is the year I had season tickets. I had him at 89. 88 was Doug Flutie, Steve Grogan, and then Steve Grogan got it back again in 89. That was the year I had season tickets. It was Steve Grogan, Mark Wilson from the Raiders, Tony Eason, and Doug Flutie. Then 1990, Mark Wilson, Tommy Hodson, Steve Grogan went to third in the depth chart, and then he retired. Then we had Hugh Millen and Tommy Hodson, then Hugh Millen, Scott Zolak. Remember the Zolak attack? And then 93, it all turns around. We get Drew Bledsoe, the great Drew Bledsoe, there until 2000 when he got hit, then Tom Brady until now. And then I don't even know who the fuck our quarterback is now. Who is it? Do they even have anybody listed? Jesus Christ, who the fuck is our quarterback? Who is the Patriots' new quarterback? Jarrett Stidham. Who the fuck is Jarrett Stidham? Oh, brother. This poor bastard. Could Jarrett Stidham bring out the best in the Patriots' young targets, New England Patriots? I'm going to say yes. Well, I got to root for him now. All right, good for him. Welcome, Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I haven't been doing shit. You know what else? I've been playing like fucking Candyland and Chutes and Ladders every single day with my daughter because it's been like raining out here. And Candyland was hilarious. When we first started playing, if I got some of the candy, you know what I mean? If I turned it over and it said, peanut brittle. I love it's like all these old people candy, peanut brittle, those little hearts, candy canes and shit. Like it's just super old school candy because it came out like fucking 60, 70 years ago, right? So my daughter would cry if I got like the ice cream float. So we had to play like this. So I finally had to be like, all right, well, if I get it, just call me up and then I'll share it with you. So then, I would get it, and then she'd just go, ring, 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 sad look on her face. I'd be like, hello? And she'd be like, hi, Dada. Can I come over and have some ice cream floats? And I'd be like, sure. When can you be here? And she'd be like, 5 minutes. All right, bye-bye, I love you. She'd be like, I love you. And then she'd stand up, we'd hug each other. Hey, how you doing? And just have like a tea party with the ice cream floats. Then give each other the thumbs up in the end. And for some reason, she does like a high five, like you have to touch thumbs. So then that worked. So there was no meltdowns or anything like that while we were playing Candyland. And then yesterday, she finally understood the concept of winning and losing. And then when I would win, and I'm sitting there praying that she's going to win, right? Which, of course, you attract what you fear. And then I won like 2 games in a row, and we literally had to shut the game down. But I now got her, when somebody wins, she goes, "Oh, you won, congratulations. It's really sweet." So that was my big day yesterday. And I swear to God, Chutes and Ladders never ends. Never fucking ends. And for all you AC/DC fans, it's called, I think, Ladders and Snakes. Snakes and Ladders or something like that down in Australia, which is why, yeah, Snakes and Ladders, right? Which is why in the AC/DC songs, he says ladders and snakes. So I can't remember if I already talked about this on the podcast. So that's why, Bon Scott says that in that song, because it never made sense to me. So somebody said, I guess in fucking Australia, they were going, yeah, the board game started here, and it was called Snakes and Ladders, but like snakes was too scary for you Americans, so they changed it to Chutes. And in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, and you also can't slide down a snake. But I wouldn't put it past, this country, with the religious background, that they didn't want the snake that tempted Eve on the board. I got to be honest with you. God damn it. Theirs is cooler. With the snakes, theirs is fucking cooler. And you have more of a punishment with the longest snake. You go all the way, you go from the second to last row to all the way back. You go from 87 down to 6. With Chutes and Ladders, I think you go from like 87 down to like 16 or 17. Or 17 or 18 or something like that. I don't fucking know. Jesus Christ, am I bored. What do you guys think is going to happen first? Do you think they're going to come up with the cure? Or do you think they're going to start shooting people in the street? The martial law. Are you okay with martial law? What's going on in the news? Let's look up the news, people, and I'll wrap this thing up. I apologize, man. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Google News. Google News. What's going on in the news? Senate adjourns until Monday after Democrats blocked McConnell's bid to add $250 million in small business aid. What the fuck? I thought the Democrats like to help out the little man. Doc Facucci says he's hopeful we'll be on our way towards normalization by summer. Jesus Christ. CNN poll. Biden lead. You know what this is starting to feel like with them saying when this thing's going to be over? You know when your flight's delayed? And rather than just saying, yeah, we don't have a plane, you guys are fucked for the next 6 hours, they go, the flight has been delayed for 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes goes by. It's been delayed another 40 minutes. Now it's an hour. And they just keep pushing it back. CNN poll. Biden leads Trump in national head-to-head matchup. Oh, Jesus Christ. Give me a fucking break. He's not going to beat Trump. He's not as good at being old as Donald Trump is. He's got to start dyeing his hair. U.S. sees another spike in coronavirus death toll. All right. Well, that's fucking depressing. Struggle to apply for unemployment continues across the country. Yeah, it's unprecedented unemployment. Essential workers exposed to coronavirus can return to work if showing no symptoms, CDC says. Oh, boy. We have many more questions about Jimmy Fallon's house slide after learning its origin story. This is a bad one. Edmonton Oilers' Colby Cave remains in a coma. He had a brain bleed. Ah, fuck, man. See, this is why I don't watch the fucking news. All right, the Led Zeppelin song Jimmy Page calls his favorite. All right, here we go. Here's a happy thing. We don't need more corona fucking news. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. And people are turning on one another. Do not do that. Do not turn on one another. Do not start arguing with one another. Fucking hang in there, all right? Just fucking hang in there. Stay positive. Do what you got to do. Am I being tone deaf by suggesting that people try to get along with each other during this? All right. It must be hard to pick your favorite child. And we imagine that Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page has the same difficulty when picking his favorite song. But in an interview, that's exactly what he did. The huge plethora, I don't know, of rocking Led Zeppelin tracks. How the fuck do you say that word? Plethora pronunciation. All right. Plethora? Plethora. Say it again. Say it loud. Plethora. All right, it is plethora. Plethora. All right, we can close the Anne Frank window. Cigar shapes. Looking up cigar shapes, everybody. All right. That's how bored I am, how they classify them, different leaves. Still haven't smoked. All right, the huge plethora of rocking Led Zeppelin tracks means that Jimmy Page has got a lot of songs to pick from when selecting his favorite. You could just fucking say what he said. This is just like the baked potato article. Now we know what you're thinking. There are literally hundreds of songs. Listen how this is fucking genius how much this person drags this out. The guitarist's incredible catalog may make choosing difficult, but Jimmy Page managed to pick the ultimate Led Zeppelin track. Now, don't you think right here you would say, he picked this song? No, we keep going. Now, we know what you're thinking. Like Bad 80s comic, I know what you're thinking. When did Ron Howard get cancer? Right? They are literally hundreds of songs that could be put down here. That's what I would say if I was, my look, if I got on stage in 1989. I know what you're thinking. Who gave Ron Howard cancer? There are literally hundreds of songs that could be put down here as some of Led Zeppelin's best. Whole Lot of Love may have been one of the most influential riffs of all time. Something Page commented on in the 2004 saying, we felt into in 2014 saying we felt the riff was addictive like a forbidden thing. A similar case can be made for Black Dog too, but it's not his favorite. Now right here you would be like, his favorite happens to be... He was asked by Rolling Stone in 2012 which song he felt contained the greatest Led Zeppelin riff, and his response may well not be what you're expecting. So this is 8 years old, and the person's still drawing this out. Page, famed for his evolving blues rock sound, instead picked his Eastern-influenced gem from Physical Graffiti, the brilliant Kashmir. Has to be the one. There we go. 200 fucking words. He acknowledged that while the riff may well be the biggest moment on some of Zeppelin's songs, without the rest of the band's input, Zepp would never have reached the heights they did. It's difficult to be asked what's your favorite Zepp track. They all were. Page told Fricky of Rolling Stone they were all intended to be on those albums, but he decided to narrow it down soon after. I suppose Kashmir has to be the one. There you go. Now you know. And now you know. All right, I got to do an ad read here, everybody. An ad read. They say such things and they do strange things. It's an ad read. So let me get this straight. So people are having difficulty applying for fucking unemployment, but the Cheesecake Factory after 8 days can be like, fuck you, we're not paying our rent, and everybody's okay with that? The fucking guy, the hand sanitizer guy, gets all kinds of shit for price gouging on that, but I go on Amazon to try to get some more Swifters, and they want $59 for a box of them. How come they're not shitting all over the Amazon people? Maybe they are. Let's see if they are. Amazon price gouging. Price gouging on PlayStation. Texas lawmakers demand Amazon's and others stop price gouging by vendors. Amazon, Walmart. Do you realize the level? I just want to be in the fucking meeting. I just want to be in the meeting. How does it go down at those corporate offices? Where they're sitting there going like, we live in America. We are Americans. These are our countrymen, and they're struggling. How can we take advantage of this? How much do you think they can afford to pay? What if we made a Swifter, a box of Swiftings, a luxury item? Jesus Christ. Remember back in the day when Publishers Clearinghouse would come up to your house with that giant fucking check and people would lose their minds? First of all, you realize I was dumb enough well into my 20s that I thought that was the actual check, that because it was so much money, they wrote it on a big check, and I actually thought you took that check down to the fucking bank. And then a security had to walk out and get it because you couldn't slide it underneath the teller window. I swear to God, I'm not fucking bullshitting you. I thought that for the longest that was the actual check. So anyway, with this price gouging, the Publishers Clearinghouse people, they're going to start fucking coming up with a box full of Swifters. Amazon, coronavirus price gouging leads to removal of... I love how they fucking get to blame the vendors when they're getting a piece of the action. 3,900 seller accounts from U.S. store due to coronavirus-based price gouging. Amazon announced Monday that it has removed more than 3,900 selling accounts voting for fair pricing. Well, they're not doing a good enough job. Who gives a fucking... I don't know. Let me just get to the ad read here. The ad read. They say such things and they do strange things. It's the ad read. I'll never go there anymore. All right. Live read. All right. I think they asked... Okay, one read. They asked to avoid mentioning the virus. All right. I'll play ball. All right. Policy Genius, everybody. These are things we each look back on and think, how did I get it so wrong? It might be wearing multiple polo shirts. Oh, my God. You remember that? Multiple polo shirts and popping all the collars. Wow. That was a thing for like 3 weeks. Donating to Coney 2012. I don't know who that is. Or dating that one person that one time. You know the one. We're always going to get things wrong. That's just life. But there are also things we can get right on the first try, like shopping for home insurance. That's where Policy Genius comes in. Motivate your audience. First head to, why do they say that? First head to policygenius.com and answer a few questions about yourself and your property. Then Policy Genius will compare your policy against options from top insurers to make sure you're getting the right home insurance coverage at the best possible price. You know what? The one great thing about this, seriously, is like back in the day, they never had stuff like this, and you would just pay, and that you just buy something, and somebody, how much you pay for them things? Oh, dude, I could have got it for like $12, no matter what you paid. And I never realized it was just a passive-aggressive thing that the person was mad that you had something new. Then Policy Genius will compare your policy against other options from top insurance to make sure you're getting the right home insurance coverage at the best possible price. They save their customers an average of $690 per year doing just that. If Policy Genius finds you a better rate than what you're currently paying, they'll do all the work to get you switched. Own a car too? Policy Genius will compare your home and auto insurance across different insurers and even mix and match to find you savings. So even if you look back on your triple denim days in distress, you'll never be distressed about home insurance with Policy Genius. In just a few minutes, you can find your best price and apply at policygenius.com. We all get things wrong from time to time. At least we can get home insurance right with Policy Genius. There you go. Ba-da-ba-da, boo-boo. See that? All done. You know what that reminds me? When I was a kid, when I was in junior high school, when I was in elementary school, it was all about Adidas. It was Adidas Dragon, Adidas Varsity, and I remember Adidas Dragons was cool because Hutch on Starsky and Hutch had them. And I like the Adidas Country, the green ones. I still have a pair of those because they reissued them in the early 2000s, and they've never reissued them again with the same quality leather. Let me look these fucking things up. Adidas Country green. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there they are. Oh, those were the best. Those were my favorite sneakers I had as a kid. Look how fucking ugly they look now. Oh, they actually those look all right. Like they did a good job reissuing them. You can only get them in the fucking UK. So anyway, then Nike came along with the Nike Cortez, and then that was it. They just fucking took over. I remember my brother had the blue nylon ones with the yellow swish, and then he had the black and gray ones. And I stuck with the Adidas. And then Converse All-Star was the shit for a second in the early 80s when people first started wearing like basketball sneakers and you didn't play basketball. And I had the low-top red ones like Curly Neal. And everybody had the red ones. And there was only a couple people in my grade that actually had the blue ones. And I actually thought the blue ones were cooler. They were white with the blue. And then somewhere like the next year, all of a sudden it was all about running sneakers. And New Balance took over, right? So there was all these different pairs. And then there was these black ones, black and gray ones. And those were the ones that I wanted. I didn't want the red with the gray end. I wanted the gray ones with the black end. And they were $60. And my mother was like, I am not paying $60 for a pair of sneakers. This was the early 80s. So I don't know what that is in today's money, right? So I had a paper route. So I had to agree. I had to pay, I think, $20 or $25. Like she wouldn't go above $35. So I ended up paying the other $25 of it, which was a big fucking investment. All right. My New Balance, and I bought a Univega Nuovo Sport. That was another big, which I still have. I don't understand throwing out a bicycle. I don't get it. There's no motor on it. It's all made out of metal. All the parts exist. It's fine. I do not understand getting a new fucking bicycle. So I still have that thing. I have the fucking in my garage. I actually ride on that thing while my daughter rides her tricycle. I ride on a bicycle that I got when I was, I don't know, 14, I think. And I remember it was a big deal because it was a 12-speed. Other kids had a 10-speed. I had a 12-speed. I had 2 extra gears. I still couldn't beat them in a race, but it was nice to know. And I upgraded because I had a Raleigh Beach Rambler. That was my paper route bike, a big fucking Pee Wee Herman-looking bike in Massachusetts. It had white wall tires on it. And I remember me and my brother pointed at it and laughed, and then my dad saw it, and he's from the 1950s. White wall tires. He loved it. Oh, that's great. You should get it. Go ahead and get it. And I was so afraid of my dad, I bought it, and I didn't even want it. And then I rode around the neighborhood, and everybody fucking laughed at me. It was like if a pimp lost all his whores but still wanted to have some style. So he had to sell his car, but so he bought a bicycle with fucking white wall tires. And everybody thought they just laughed at it. And then one day my older brother got on it and he rode it down the driveway and slammed on the brakes. And the tire was so fucking thick that it sounded like a car. Went, and everybody thought it was cool. Yep, that was old Billy Burr, little kid, orange afro, a beach rambler bike with fucking white wall tires. Hey, ladies, where you going? Yeah, so anyway, so I got these fucking New Balance fucking sneakers, right? And I paid full price for them, wherever the fuck I got them back. I think Athlete's Foot was still around back then. It's still around now, but I think it was around even back then. And I remember coming into school, and everybody's like, oh, shit, because they were like the best ones, right? And I just remember everybody, how much you pay for them things? How much you pay for them things? During the day, I just kept lying, kept dropping, $55. Oh, dude, I could have got them things at Herman's for fucking $48. And I just kept dropping the number. No matter what fucking number I said, somebody said they could have got a better deal, And I think I dropped it too much, and then they said where, and then I had to make up a store, and then they said I was lying. And going back, why didn't I just say I paid full price? My mother wouldn't go higher than $30-$35, so I had to pay the final $25, but I have a paper route. So I agreed to do it, and I spent $25 of my own money because I wanted to wear these and come to school and be a cool kid, and maybe people wouldn't fucking give me shit, and you guys are doing it anyway, so I'm out $25 because you're still giving me shit, and I'm really disappointed right now. Can you imagine if you came with that kind of honesty at that age? I imagine you still get the shit kicked out of you. All right, so how much time have I done here? All right, I think that's enough for one day. I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point. Just fucking hang in there. Fucking keep wearing your masks and your bandanas and stuff. Evidently, this is peak week. I think that we're going to get through it by the summer. Positive, Bill. Positive. We're going to get through this, everybody. We're going to get through this. And the government fucking help people out with the goddamn unemployment. You already take too much of their fucking checks anyways. All right? That's it. Tax the fucking rich more, make them pay for more. Right? Fucking do that. Everybody helps everybody out. That's it. What is the fucking problem? You know what? This is a great opportunity, I think, to just take down the banks. And just fucking start over again. Nobody's fucking working now anyways. Just fucking start over again. Walk up to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, pencil pushers, guess what? We're printing the money now. We don't owe you any fucking money. Go fuck yourself. All right? And the dollar still has nothing behind it, but it still means something because we said so. Because if you come over here and you give somebody some money, you can get something in fucking return. All right? So fuck all this inflation shit. It has value because we say so, because we have nuclear weapons, right? Then we switch to solar power. Everybody learns how to make bread. We get vegetables growing in the backyard. That's it. You only go to mom and pop. Hey, you only go to mom and pop stores. There we go. No. We did a benefit last weekend to help out some people that were... in the comedy community, comedians and wait staff that weren't making any money. So that felt good to do that. And I got to maybe something with All Things Comedy. We can figure out, try to help out some of the listeners of our podcast because that's what you do. That's what you do when shit like this fucking happens. You don't fucking start price gouging. And I don't believe in trying to say fucking divisive shit. You should try to be fucking bringing people together. I don't believe in fucking blaming, this party or that party or the standing president or all of that. Like, everybody's just got to be like fucking relax. And it's so fucking funny with this country how everybody immediately goes to, I need to get a fucking gun because something's going to happen. And I know other countries look at us like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And you have to look at it. This country is like one giant, we're not all one people. And we didn't get off on the best foot with each other. So I think we go back to that when shit fucking starts, going down. I don't know what. But I'm hoping that people will use this as a way to come together and help out other people. So maybe we can do something. I don't fucking know. All right. Oh, you know what I saw? I saw a old movie, Shampoo, with... Shirley MacLaine's brother, Warren Beatty. And it was a really interesting movie as far as the development of the script where, there's a formula with movies and in the first 10 pages, and page 10, something has to happen to set the movie into action. And then on page 25, 26, 27 or whatever, then it moves into the second act. And then somewhere in page 70, you're supposed to go... into whatever, the third act. And this sort of threw that out the window. And you were kind of just watching the characters' lives unfold for 20 minutes. And you're like, what the fuck's going to happen in this movie? But I thought it was really interesting, and Warren Beatty was great in it. And I don't know, that's what I've kind of been doing that with my wife. It's kind of been cool. We have not been fighting. Thank God. It's funny. When shit is regular, we fucking argue a lot. But now I guess that there's nothing to do. We're just fucking hanging out watching old movies. So I hope you guys are being able to do that. I don't know. I don't know what, but I'm going to stay positive through all this. I think they're going to fucking figure something out. All right? That's it. Go fuck yourself. Check out some old NFL highlights or maybe watch some animals eating each other. Learn how to make bread or something. I'd like to do that, but I imagine yeast. Let's see how much yeast costs at this point. How do you spell yeast? I almost spelled it Y-E-S-T. Y-E-S-T. Yeast. $48.48 on Wish. You fucking cunts. Safe instant yeast, $13.50 on eBay. Is it $7.99? I was actually watching some. I'll go a little longer. Who gives a fuck, right? I was actually watching some videos on how to make bread. It looked fun as shit, man. Fucking slapping that fucking dough around. Can't find yeast or flour? These days, 9 D.C. area spots are still baking killer bread. What is baker's yeast and where can I find it? Fucking assholes. Fucking assholes, man. Well, there was plenty of fucking yeast a month ago. What happened? Did one douche buy a whole garage full of it? All right. Okay, there's the WashingtonPost.com. Set your fucking politics. Washingtonian.com. There's a thing. Can't find yeast or flour. These 9 D.C. area spots are still baking killer bread just in case you want to leave the sourdough to the pros. I don't know what this is. If this means you can do it without that. Who gives a shit? Look at this yeast, and then they got the fucking don't sneeze on anybody fucking Bing Crosby hat with the fucking Sidney Crosby face shield. Look at that. All right. Maybe that's what I could do. Maybe All Things Comedy can go out and pay top dollar for some yeast and then just give it away for free. Crazy time, people. Hang in there. Stay positive. Try to help people out. I don't know what. I guess that's what I got. And fucking stay inside. I'm a broken record here. All right. Go fuck yourselves. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Monday. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast from Monday, April 9th, 2012. And we're going to do something a little different this week. Rather than me just sitting here in my pajamas. Ranting and raving, I decided that I would get clothed this week and have a friend of mine come by. The one and only Dom Irera, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Do you mind if I get undressed?
Huh? No.
I would feel more comfortable doing this show. I like in the nude.
In the nude.
In the nude, not
in
just naked, podcast. In the nude.
You know, I think it's very fitting that I'm with a Dago bastard like you and we're sitting here drinking the vino.
Ain't not for nothing, you mick prick, but let me tell you something. It is funny, isn't it, that I bring red wine over with a little class? You do, and I was embarrassed that I only had one red wine glass. And the fact that the only thing I've had here is some stuff I brought over, and you had a delicious sushi dinner in front of me.
Okay, let me tell the listeners. I thought I told Dom to come here at 7:30, so me and Nia ordered some sushi. And evidently I said 7, and this guy's Johnny on the spot. 7 o'clock, right as the sushi comes in. Professional.
I think I delivered it, didn't I?
I know. And then you showed up. The only thing I could offer you was the fucking wine that you brought.
Do you want some edamame with your wine, you said to me?
Well, listen, let's quit fucking around here,
All right,
Dom.
Let's get serious about comedy.
We know, let's sit there. I want to know about your process. When you sit down, Dom, when we're going to talk about comedy here.
You're talking about my instrument, how I tune my instrument.
Yeah, we're going to talk about 2 comedians. We're going to sit here for an hour and talk about the logistics. Is that the right word?
You can use that word.
Yeah. When you put the pen to the paper. Wow. Hey, did you see the...
you get a little heavy now, Bill.
Did you see the Masters today?
I did.
And were you happy that Bubba Watson won it?
I like seeing different people win. The thing that's amazing to me is the nerves it takes. When a friend of mine's a scratch golfer. He goes, one guy goes, "Why don't you turn pro?" He goes, "You have no idea the difference between me being alone out on a course, hitting a 70, when compared to millions of people looking at you."
Yeah, you know what always blows my mind at those PGA things is when those guys go to tee off and they hit it like 300 miles an hour, all those people standing just off to the right and the left, sitting there with their face just like
they really trust
like they're looking for a subway to come.
Yeah.
Like what Bubba's shot there when he was in the Pine Needles. I mean, everyone was standing there. There was a guy sitting there with like a camera. Like the level of faith that they had. One guy did get hit today. Did you see that?
No, I saw him get hit yesterday. I saw a guy get hit yesterday.
Oh, dude, it was like this delayed reaction. This old guy.
You hit in the head?
No, he got hit like center mass. You couldn't see because those people, but it was low enough where it wasn't his head.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was walking around looking for the ball, and then all of a sudden he just sort of collapsed by this tree. And then the announcer just goes, "Oh dear,
one down.
Somebody got hurt," and just
whispered it. I wonder what would happen if somebody got killed, like got hit in the temple. You think they'd stop the match after they took the ambulance, took the body away?
No, I think that they would keep going, but
not say that he was dead.
It would ruin.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, it would ruin the spectator part of it. We'd then have to all be wearing helmets.
Right.
And stuff like that. And years later, people
goggles.
Years later, people would watch it on YouTube the way you watch like a goalie back in the day that didn't wear a mask.
Right.
Like, this guy's out of his fucking
mind.
Look
at them standing there on the fairway. Do you play golf?
No, I don't. I appreciate the game, but I'm just being a no pigment Irishman. I mean, by the fourth hole, I don't give a fuck. It sounds great. Yeah. You go out there with your friends.
Sounds great, yeah.
You get a 12-pack, and you just.
And we could make a lot of money because they had like these celebrity things that you could go on. You've gotten offers to golf with people, right?
Yeah, maybe carrying somebody's bags.
No,
yeah,
haven't you gotten those kind of things? I mean,
celebrity golf. No, I'm out of that loop.
Well.
I'd have to go out there with some big like Hannibal Lecter sun hat that he wore like at the end of the movie. If they had nighttime golfing, I would do it.
I have friends that golf a lot, and I just don't want to suck at something else at this age. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm close to the vest. I shoot pool and I play ping pong because I love ending up where I started. You know what I mean? There's no big thing. People go, "You play ping pong? Like, what are you, a half a fag with the ping pong?" My thing is, I don't play like standing there with a beer in my hand. I play like, You
put some spin on it.
I put some spin on mother.
You know who you gotta play is Jimmy Dore.
Is he good?
Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore invites you over. The hilarious Jimmy Dore invites you over. You think you're just going over there to have some burgers at his lovely place, and really he's just sick of beating everybody in his neighborhood, and he talks shit.
Where's he at? In like Silver Lake or something?
I don't want to out where he's at.
No, because this is about as far as I'll go, only because I love you. This is as far as I'll go.
Is that a moth? These fucking goddamn fucking moths. You're old when you have to buy a cedar chest, a chest of drawers, because they're eating at your old man sweaters. I wear the V-neck sweaters now on stage. I go with that with the T-shirt underneath.
Go with the casual look?
Yeah, I'm trying to disguise how much I drop the F-bomb in my act. I figure if I dress.
How many do you have for every 15 minutes?
Well, I usually do 4 days when I go out, so I got 4 different colors. Maybe I'll switch it up with a button down just so the wait staff doesn't start snickering at me.
Off the record, I always thought you were a sharp dresser.
Off the record, I'll take that.
I mean, even that maroon goes good with your eyes.
Well, I knew you were coming over, Dom.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the look.
Listen. That fucking guy today who won that thing, okay? I'm sitting there, the fucking golf thing. I watch it every year. I think it's awesome, right? But I'm looking at the guy, and I'm texting back and forth with my buddy Paul Verzi back east. And when he hit it off that pine needle thing.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And it curved.
Oh, yeah, insane. And went right, landed right there, and then he goes in 2 putts and wins it. He said that was the equivalent to when Eli threw that pass to Manningham. And I was just like, dude.
Manningham? Oh, this year.
Yeah, it's like, dude, don't compare real sports to golf.
No, golf is just like a giant pool table.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour mind fuck. I will give you that. But it's just like Eli had a 300-pound guy in his face taking a shot to the head. It's not. This is what kills me. This is what the thing about golf. First of all, you saw Bubba when he won? He's got that double chin, those seventh grader arms. He never took a lesson in his life. And Tiger Woods is on the course, and so is Phil Mickelson. So that's like Gretzky and fucking Mario Lemieux are out there, and he beat him. Yeah. So it's like I know guys who suck at sports like really bad. Like you throw in the ball and they like tense up.
Right.
This one guy I know, like when he goes to shoot hoop, it's like the greatest like physical comedy you ever seen. He bites his bottom lip and he holds the ball right in front of his face so he can't even see the rim. And at the last second, he bends both his wrists so he can see it for half a second, and then throws a line drive, and it hits the under part of the rim. That's how bad this guy is.
Right.
He gets on a golf course, he can compete. He can hit it straight. And I'm not saying he kills guys and wins money out there, but to watch him hit a golf ball, you'd have no idea. Like if you were going to play softball, hey, let's see you hit a golf ball. All right, let's get this guy out there. This guy struck out. I worked with him. He struck out slow pitch softball with a girl, underhanded. Struck out to the point he was so embarrassed. I remember later on that night. This is how long ago it was. He got me wine coolers. It was the 80s.
That's disgusting.
Oh, they were horrible. But you were psych if you were underage. He was like, and I was like, this sounds like a getting molested story, but I swear to God, it was. I had to go back and I threw him pitches until it was dark out. I think it was the next night. The next night I did it. He was so fucking embarrassed. He struck out 3 times and everyone was giving him shit at work. But this guy can go to the golf course. So I think bowling, golf, pool. I know people have said this before, but after watching that guy win today, I totally respect the game. I think it's
definitely
the shit.
Yeah. One of the things about golf is you can also be a normal person, and I mean, like in basketball, you can't be normal. How many 6'10" guys did you see today? You know,
yeah.
When you go to the mall, how many 6'10" guys do you see? None. Because it's such a freak game. And the guys that are small are even freaks because their quickness is beyond belief. Like John Stockton, his hands were twice as big as ours. There's always something freaky about that.
Right. Something special.
But in golf, you can be like pretty much a normal guy. For some reason, you got that. You can whack that ball, whatever it is, the torque, the physics behind it. And
all golfers, they're all like almost in shape.
Right,
you know what I mean? They got a little bit of pecs, but they got
a little bit of a
gut.
belly.
Dude, if you can kill that fucking moth, man, I've been killing him every goddamn week.
Oh, shit.
How did you miss that?
I didn't miss it. I hit it. I stunned him. But
the bell rang.
He looked at me. Did you see him look at me?
How much of a dick am I? I got you over here. You brought the wine. I didn't offer you any nourishment.
I got moths now, eating at my clothing.
And I'm giving you shit about it.
And I was always good to you, Bill. I took care of you and back in the day.
No, early on, you were really mean to me.
Get the fuck out.
You were. You used to bully me.
Yeah, right.
You did, yeah. When I was in the comedy locker room and you came in snapping towels. Way back in the day.
Oh, yeah. That was just horseplay. When we had some horseplay.
It was horseplay.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays it's considered hazing.
You know, I have a friend who's prosecuting that Sandusky case.
Oh, yeah?
He went off the other day on television. He went off on the Sandusky and his lawyer. By the way, not to be egotistical, this is pretty funny about Sandusky's lawyer. Mm-hmm. I said, what an idiot that guy is. He goes, I say, he's such a moron. And he goes, and my friend Joe goes, I got to tell you something, Dom. He's a big fan of yours. After he said what an idiot he is. I go, I'm not finished. He does have good taste in comedy.
How many times, that's a great thing to bring up, though. How many times have you made fun of somebody in your act? They're like a cartoon to you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 5, 6 years later, you're standing in the room with them.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're just going, oh, my God, did they hear what I said?
Well, one of my first jokes that was a closer joke in my act was before I did the Tonight Show, I did Star Search, right?
Now, when you did the Tonight Show, was it Leno or...
Oh, no, it was Carson.
Carson, Jesus.
So, but I did the Tonight Show. But before I did the Tonight Show, after I had done Star Search, I had a joke about Ed McMahon. The joke was kind of went like, I said, I meet Ed McMahon. I said, I'm thrilled, 35 years in the business. What do I say to him? Do I call him Ed? Do I call him Mr. Ed? Do I call him Mr. E? Mr. Eddie McMahon? Mr. You big, fat, lucky, talentless hump. Kissing Johnny's ass for the last 30 years. You Budweiser sucking, outpost slinging, nothing. What do you do? I don't mean that in a bad way. Right? That was the joke. And he comes up to me right before I go on to say hi to me. Now, I didn't know that he thought the joke was funny, that he had seen me, that he knew who I was. And he pulls me towards it. I'm thinking, oh, shit, Ed McMahon's going to slide
big
me.
Big guy, too, right?
Real big.
Yeah.
6'4", And he was strong then. This was one before he got, kind of shrunken and older. And I thought, man, Ed McMahon's going to sucker me, and I got to go on stunned my first Tonight Show set, But I'm sorry.
What did he say? What did
he just said he'd have a great set, and he was just very nice, But
now had he heard the bit or no?
He had, but I didn't know he had. Then his daughter told me he had, and then we worked together at the Philadelphia Academy of Music doing some benefit, and he told me he loved the bit. He thought it was funny. So
see, you got to love a guy who's like comfortable with with where he's at.
Well, he's big enough that he's famous enough that it's funny. So in that sense, you don't do jokes about...
Not to talk about comedy, but how fucking nerve-wracking was it to do the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? Because there was that whole thing that you couldn't just go out and have a good set.
No, you
had to get the okay sign or the thumbs. Okay was like you did good. And thumbs up.
It was the imprimatur of comedy. I mean, it was like, most of the time you got called over either because he wanted you over there or because of timing. Mm-hmm. And that guy, who's that comedian, that really alcoholic comedian from Boston, Teddy Bergeron?
Yeah.
And no offense to Teddy, but he got it. He got it.
Did I get it? I get it. I can't open my hand. I can't open my hand because I got it.
Well, just keep squeezing your hand. Was he there? He got it.
Fucking crawled away again. Sorry.
I tell you, he's indestructible. He looked at me like, you got to bring more to the table.
Yeah,
you got to bring more to the table than that, baby. But Teddy apparently did too long, so they brought him over to the thing. But what you were asking me before is an interesting thing because there was no fun in it. There was no joy in it. All it was a passing through some worm tunnel.
It was like the white Apollo in a way, but rather than the crowd, it was like he was going to boo you by just not bringing you over.
Yeah. And I remember looking out into the hills in Burbank thinking, I'm going to run away. I'll start a new life up in the woods. I really did because I couldn't. It was there was no fun. My fucking head was pounding. Are you allowed to curse?
Yeah.
My head was pounding. I never get headaches. I had a pounding headache. My heart was beating like a rabbit's, And then I got off. He gave me the thumbs. He told me, we got to have you back. And that was it. And then
like how many hours of just absolute relief is that? Oh. That must have just been unreal.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what the amount of times I think that, why do I do this? Is you're standing there before you're going out, because I'm really actually a really introverted person before I started doing this shit. So now I'm just sort of a loudmouth asshole. Kind of grew into, just from being on stage. But the first, I would say 8-9 years of doing this shit, the amount of times I was just standing and waiting to go on in some fucking impossible situation, some awful.
Oh yeah, like Nick's third show or something.
Yeah,
were you around for those days at all? The Nick's
Comedy South Boston. I started at Nick's.
Yeah, that was. I mean, luckily the guys, the Boston comics, were good to me, but that was a tough place.
Oh, it's brutal. That was tough if you were from Boston.
Third show Friday.
Yeah, and then they would put 10 fucking Boston headliners.
Yeah, but see, they took care of me. Gavin and Sweeney, they all looked out for me, and they didn't try and bury me.
Right.
For whatever reason, we always got along, so it was different for me. Like I heard Richard Lewis was so upset because Sweeney goes, follow that. Right? Follow that, all my stuff, my esoteric stuff, Boston stuff. And Richard apparently hid under the stage till everybody left. Yeah,
Jesus
that's what I heard.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they used to do that, but I guess they used to get territory. It's really kind of a funny thing considering I didn't have to go through it and I wasn't from out of town.
Yeah.
The fact that they'd be like, what do you need headliners for? We're here. We can close these shows.
Yeah.
And that you would, because so many comics do, when you go on the road, try to bury you. But they never have the audacity to just say, follow that,
Yeah,
go
I have to say, they always watched my back. They were always good to me. But does your audience...
But then you ended up stealing from the club. And what happened there?
I stole from the club?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Yeah. Well, I saw some cash. The guy went out and... do you know... did your audience know that you were one... I was part of the... I'm sorry.
That's all right. We got to do a commercial here anyways. Hang on one second. I got to fucking type in this stupid password. All right, here we go. Stamps.com, everybody. Dom, I don't know if you've heard about this.
What's that, Bill?
Do you hate going to the post office?
I hate it.
I absolutely can't stand it.
Why, do you have a suggestion for
it'd be great. Wouldn't it be great, Dom, if somehow you could have the post office within your own apartment?
Great. It'd be unbelievable.
It'd be unbelievable. What if
you know somebody that could do that?
This guy, Stamps.com. You can print out...
What's his name?
Stamps.com.
Stamps.
I
thought his name was Stamps.com.
Yeah.
Stamps.com?
Stamps.com. I'm actually using this product. You print out stamps. They give you a scale.
You don't have to shout.
I send out my... This is the excitement. This is the hype.
Oh.
They give you a scale.
Stamps.com.
Yeah, you can weigh your packages, or maybe the lady is seeing. Have a little foreplay with it.
You can weigh them in your house.
Yeah, you can weigh them right in your house. You put on a little visor. Dude, it's awesome.
It sounds like a great idea.
It is awesome because every time I go down there, there's always some. I can't say the word. I can't curse during these ads. I got in trouble last week because I dropped the C note.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't go to the post office because I have a business manager, but at your level, I guess you still...
you want that behind the music stuff where they steal all your money? That's good. Did you sign away your power of attorney? Stamps.com, everybody. If you act now
and you use my last name, Burr, you can get a no-risk trial plus a $110 bonus offer that includes a free scale and $55 of free postage.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
That's
Don't
good.
wait, Dom. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Before
Well,
you even complete
I can't
this
finish
podcast.
the show. I can't. I got to go out.
All you have to do is click the microphone at the top of the homepage, and you type in my last name, Burr, B-U-R-R, for this special offer for my listeners. If
How much
you are
do you get back?
sick and tired, I get a flat free. They give me fresh microphones for every show.
what about
I'm going to kill that moth right there.
You
There
get a
go.
scale?
Dead.
You get a scale. Tell me what you get again. Just
You
so
get
I
a
can...
scale to
Right.
weigh the packages.
Okay.
You get $55 of free postage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal.
That's a very good deal.
Yeah, and people are
Stamps.com,
responding to it.
huh?
Stamps.com. It's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
That should be in that bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Stamps.com. It's a hell of a deal. All right, back to the podcast here.
Now, does your audience know that you were the one that I was the one that kind of not sparked, but kind of set you up a little, and when you did that brilliant rant in Camden?
Oh, the Philly thing?
Bill?
Oh yeah, you went on you went on, you were one of the other ones who went to the and you also they started booing you and you didn't leave, but for some reason they didn't put that on YouTube.
No, I told them that I make $12,000 in 10 minutes. Fuck you.
No, I remember you standing there going like, why would you think you guys could make me leave? And they actually paused from booing you for half a second.
But it was only the people in the back. But the thing I loved about you was you were like sticking up for me, and I thought that was really cool. And you went, they booed Dom Herrera like you.
Dom, you're one of my heroes.
Well, come on.
I remember when I was in Boston and somebody knew you, a headliner, and was saying that, the other night Dom was in town and we were shooting pool. And I remember thinking that was the most, he knows Dom Herrera.
Oh,
I was psyched to be working with you. And not to mention, do you remember that lineup that night?
Yeah.
The way that they were being, because everyone went out there and there was that dance motherfucker vibe. Dude, as far as I can remember, it was Rich Voss, Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, I remember Tracy.
Patrice O'Neill, you, Bobby Kelly, me.
Jimmy Schubert.
Jimmy Schubert.
They booed Jimmy Schubert. They didn't let him say a word. He says, I bombed. They say, you can't bomb if they don't let you talk.
You can't bomb when it's still light and you're standing outside and half the crowd is sitting down.
Right.
That poor bastard brought half his family there.
But the funniest... I know.
Jim Norton,
Yeah.
Ralphie May. That was
Wow.
the show, dude. I'm telling you, in 20 years, people are going to look back at that lineup and be like, why were people getting booed? But,
they were drinking all day. It was crazy. It's outside.
Dude, can I tell you something? My karma, I deserved it because, like, in 1988, I went to go see Dice Clay at the Worcester Centrum at the height of that of the Dice stuff. And an unknown Eddie Griffin was opening for him.
Worcester's a great town for comedy.
Yeah, and we were all booing, and I was booing
Who was
too.
Eddie Griffin?
Yeah, Eddie. It was
You were booing Eddie Griffin?
He wasn't famous. I wasn't
Right,
a
right.
comic, and I was doing that moron audience thing. Like, yeah Dice is gonna love us because we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
You know, because we want Dice to come on, and Eddie Griffin stood there going, "Yeah, fuck you, motherfuckers! I'm not getting off stage." And people kind of like, "Whoa, oh, we thought you were just gonna run off." And then he ended up killing doing that Michael Jackson thing that he did or something. He killed. He ended up turning it around and killed. So. That's the thing about that Philly thing why I don't make such a big deal because it's like a bunch of guys have done that. There just was no YouTube.
Well, you told me that
time.
they expected you to do it after that. But I got to tell you, the funniest line, for some reason, fuck the Liberty Bell. I don't know why, but that made me cry laughing. Like, what did the Liberty Bell ever do? Fuck the Liberty Bell. Donovan McNabb, I hope he gets an ACL too.
I was running out of shit.
The Flyers haven't won since Gerald Ford was president, but then fuck the Liberty Bell.
Because you know what that's like? That's like somebody in Boston yelling at somebody going, hey, fuck Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Like we give a shit.
Right.
Fuck Sam Adams.
Hey, don't talk about our bell.
Hey, don't talk about our tourist attractions like that. Fuck the duck boats, buddy. Yeah, that was one of another happy night on the road. Well, you got anything? And rumor has it that you're going to be starting up your own podcast. And rumor has it that I might be on a short list of guests that you're trying to.
Well,
book.
yeah, you said that you didn't want to do it right away because we're talking now, but I want you to do it as soon as you want to do it. It's going to be Dom Herrera live at the Laugh Factory.
I'll come down and do it. Because you're a conversational guy. I just don't like when I go and I do somebody's podcast and for an hour we tell all our stories to each other, blah, blah, blah. And then, hey, come and do my podcast next week. And then it always feels like what I did for VH1 where I wasn't on I Love the 80s. I was on I Love the 80s Strikes Back. So they had already talked about all the A-level shit.
Right.
So when I came through, it was like, do you remember what would you do for a Klondike bar? All the Eddie Murphy Raw, all the Back to the Future, all that shit was gone. And it was like the really do you remember a show called Square Pegs? No. Short-lived show. You got any comedy on that? It was really like so that would be the reason why I don't do that, Dom.
Well,
if you were wondering,
like
I want to tell you, I really appreciate you breaking out your new shoes for this.
These aren't new. I just don't wear them much because they look like bowling shoes. These are Todd's. They're
I was going to say bowling shoes.
$3.85 a shoe.
$3.85 a shoe. That's how expensive they are.
You can't buy a pair. You have to buy them individually.
I bought the first one, and then the other one I'm going to come back and get later.
Now, how do you write, Bill? What's your process?
Well, you know what it is I try and go out and live a life, okay? And
it writes itself.
Yeah, you know what it is? And as a comedian, you always have to be observing things. You know, the newspaper. I read like 17 newspapers a day, Don. That's what I do.
Wow.
Just because I want to see it from every angle.
So you're more of an informative person than an actual comedian. You don't even go for laughs.
Oh, no, not at all. Well, you've seen my sets down there, Don.
Yeah, well,
Dom, that's what I always loved about watching you on stage.
I didn't go for the laugh.
Yeah,
I didn't pander to the crowd.
Yeah,
and
your ability to just stand there.
And have them stare at me.
Yeah, and just not walk off stage. It was just amazing.
Bill, I want the crowd thinking, I'm more of a motivational speaker. When they leave my show, I want them to think, fuck, I could do that. See, that's what I'm about.
Absolutely.
You with the laughs and the killing. It's old school. I like the teaching. You know what I love when comedians say a true story, like that makes a difference. Like they're going to leave.
Savor, yeah. No, it's a true story.
Yeah, but they're going out at the end. They go, a second guy. I didn't think he was funny, but talk about integrity. My God, he was honest. I think those other guys made that shit up. That really funny shit.
No, but you know what I love is you still come down and work out, and I always work out. I feel like there's just a handful of us who, once you start selling tickets on the roads, will still go down.
I don't know why guys take off nights like that. I mean, I understand it. Like if you're married and like I'm single right now, but even when I wasn't, my girlfriend didn't understand. I go, well, I'm trying to get better.
Right.
What do you think? I say, like you can't say like when I did the Tonight Show, that was 1987. Right? That's a long time ago. That, you have to practice. I can't go if you play basketball, you can't say to somebody, I usually score 25 points a game. He's going, well, you know what, pal, you scored 4 tonight, so
right.
You want to be good. I mean, I know you have the same motivation that I have to keep improving. You're not really competing against anybody else. You just compete with yourself.
Hey, I am competing with a lot of people.
Who are you jealous of? Who really makes you angry? Success.
You. There's just something about what it is. I've always been jealous.
You like my lack
swagger.
of height, my
swagger,
my tough guy.
A lot of people don't know about you is your arm wrestling abilities.
We were talking about that last night. Not to be a name dropper, with Renee Zellweger. Cute. Did you ever see her live? Beautiful.
No, I've only seen her in the movies with that fucking guy who looks like Phil Mickelson, but he's from England. The guy with the hooker.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been like on the $20,000.
Yeah, the one. What was that hooker's name?
His name is like Philip North. What the fuck was his name?
No, I forget.
Harry Harrington.
No,
it's something.
Bobby Bittman.
Yeah, it was like. Phil Rosenthal. It was like something.
Was it Phil Rosenthal? He's the producer of Willis Raymond.
No, he's what the fuck was his name? Harry Crumb.
No,
no. I'm terrible at names.
Harry, you're really terrible. It's not even close.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
I knew there was an H.
How the fuck's Harry Crumb?
Harry Harrington, Hugh Grant. I knew there was something like that.
What was the hooker's name? Remember? That would be a great memory. That'd be a great recall.
It was like Destiny or
it was
Divine Brown.
Holy shit, you're good.
Bang. I thought she was hot.
You have to ask her with a question, though.
I thought she was hot.
She was hot.
She was hot. She and that's one of the great things about being a hooker here in L.A. Just like everybody, at any moment, you don't know who you're going to run into.
What exposure.
A movie star. It was great exposure.
Well, how about the Eddie Murphy thing with the transvestite?
Was that ever proven, though?
Well, I think it was proven that he nobody could ever prove that he didn't know that he knew it was a man, but you don't go to Santa Monica Boulevard and pick up regular hookers.
What if you're just going to swinging by Yum Yum Donuts? You just happen to meet
him. Look, Eddie Murphy's a brilliant actor, but I mean the thing is.
By the way, what is with all the what's the deal?
What's the deal?
What's the deal with all the donut places out here?
Who are these people, and why do they eat so many donuts?
Why?
I don't know. I don't have
do people eat donuts? Dude, I've never seen so many. Not only so many fucking donut shops out here, but they're all seem to be independently owned, and everyone has a different name. There's Yum Yum Donuts, Go Go Donuts.
I know there are.
Oh boy, I got some donuts, and everybody out here works out.
Pastry with a hole.
Eating all these donuts.
Pastry with a hole in the middle.
Does your friend Renee Zellweger eat a dozen and then fucking yak them up in a dumpster?
She's beautiful.
Oh, yeah?
What I was going to say about
At any point when you were talking to her, did she do some sort of touching of your arm or maybe tapped you on the knee and it just made you feel like a little boy again?
Well, she
made
has.
You believe
she's
in
very,
Christmas?
very like her whole
aura.
Aura is really positive. And her chi is right in the middle of her chest. She has a centrally located chi. But you know how I met her? Listen to this. Talk about a name dropping thing. First, on a Sunday night, I'm in Cleveland. It's snowing sideways. It was so bad out. Next
Let me
day,
tell you, folks, it was snowing.
I'm telling you, it was snowing. Talk about snowing. I'll tell you.
Hey, it's coming right off the lake.
It's a lake effect snow. It's not real snow. It's lake effect. You see the difference? But I'm sitting in Cleveland. I'm looking out the window. I'm thinking, I'm not even going to get out of here tomorrow. I had to go to a reading. Ready for this? Name drop city. Sean Penn had called me up.
Jesus Christ, Dom.
I know. Wait, there's more.
I'm jealous of you.
To read with Chaz Palminteri, De Niro, Renee Zellweger.
Oh, go fuck yourself. For what?
For a movie, a comedy movie about that I was supposed to play De Niro's brother. Now,
Bullets Over Broadway?
Yeah, Bullets Over Road. No, this is just last year. The matter of fact, they called me a month ago to come in and read the rewrites with them, but I couldn't make it. I had bronchitis. But I'm sitting there, and I've really turned into Woody Allen because at the end of the thing, I just got kind of a crush on Renee Zellweger, and she's so pretty and such a good actress. And she says, "You were really good." She goes, "I hope I get to work with you, babe." And she said, "Babe," and I was walking down the steps alone. I'm going, she called me babe.
Oh, yeah.
Babe.
Isn't that unreal?
Yeah.
The power of a beautiful woman. Forget about if they're famous.
Yeah.
I did a show one time and down Irvine, down at the mall there. And at the end of the show, this woman came up and just really quickly shook my hand and then said really funny and then left. And I'm telling you, it was like fucking electricity.
Yeah.
Was in her hand, and it was the chick from the Whitesnake videos who walked around in the white dress.
Yeah.
Still looking good, but and I had no idea who she was, but she just had like that. Like there was no way she wasn't going to become famous. I'm telling you, dude. She shook my hand, and it was like fucking a lightning bolt went through it.
No, there's definitely energy to that.
And she's like, I don't know, pushing 50, and there was all these other 20-something-year-old hotties, and I'm watching her go out the door like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah. Well, you know who was hot like that?
You ever wish that you had that sort of electricity, Dom? You ever wish that you had that sort of?
I never, even even when I was good looking, I wasn't that good looking.
Yeah, the it factor. You know what I love that who's bit. Oh man, I can't forget his name. Guy passed away. It was one of my favorite comedians.
Richard Jennings.
No, the former
W.C. Fields.
He used to do
Abe
Vigoda.
Abbott Costello.
He was a former teacher, and he used to do that.
Oh, Welcome Back, Kotter?
Nope. He passed away.
Fuck, man, it's becoming really stressful. This show.
Redhead with the mustache.
Dennis Wolfberg.
When he used to do that.
Why did you say that?
Because I'm bad with names. And then I totally love the guy. Then I panicked, and then I just forget it.
Yeah.
This is why I do this. I sucked.
You're blocking yourself.
Yeah, I'm putting too much pressure. That's why I don't golf. I don't golf with these bubbas, these self-taught guys who beat the Gretzkys and the Mario Lemieux. He used to do this bit about the it factor, having it with women.
Oh,
remember that joke? He goes,
no.
I don't know what it is. I don't think I ever had it. He goes, but whatever it is, I have the antidote, ladies and gentlemen. And he would stick his tongue out.
Yeah.
Fucking love that guy. I probably just butchered his goddamn joke, and everyone's probably gonna say this isn't funny, but
no, he mugged a lot, but he was funny.
Oh, it's just.
I mean, his whole act was mugging.
He went out to the Comedy Connection in Providence right in the end when he was sick, and he sat down.
I heard about that.
Destroyed and got a standing ovation.
I heard he did that, and I heard he did Boston when it was still open.
Yeah,
Comedy Connection.
Absolutely destroyed. You know, I heard one time. You one time. You did a set half sitting, half standing, simultaneously, and you fucking destroyed.
You know, what cracks me up is like I see like Brett Ernst, the kid. You know, what is he like 39, good shape, whatever he is,
movie star looking guy. Yeah, and
he sits down after about 2 minutes on stage. We don't 15 minutes to Comedy Store all day long. We don't work. And then he sits down. He takes a break after 2 minutes. Oh, boy. Anybody else tired?
He looks like he could do like 40 pull-ups just when he wakes up. He could do it.
I'm sure he could.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got to that. About 40 minutes in, 30 minutes in, that we realized that Brent Ernst is he's one of the more lazier guys out here. Would you
Well,
say?
he's a lazy, funny comedian. This is the kind of things. I mean, I can't believe you got me to admit certain things on the show, or you're about to.
I'm going to make you cry. Is what I want to do. I think somehow Brent Ernst killing while sitting down and being better looking and in better shape than both of us. I think this is going to lead you to crying.
Well, I realize now. Look how much weight I've gained. Right now, I've gained since I've known you 30 pounds. Right. And I know that.
I can't tell.
Well, you don't really look. You don't really check me out.
You know what it is? Oh, Doc.
Look at my head. My head is bigger.
Well, you're wearing that slimming black T-shirt.
I've got a Barry Bonds head. But it's interesting because now, and I don't even know if this is a bit yet, Bill, but I think there's something in it. I have to look. I don't like women my own age. Right. You know what I mean? I can't fake that I get aroused by them.
I always wondered that.
No.
I always wondered,
I mean, I wish I had that kind of love or something, but I need like a hot young chick. But the only hot young chick I'm going to get has to be flawed.
Right.
She's got to be has daddy issues.
Inside or outside, yeah.
Yeah, she's got to be messed up in some way, but that's what I'm looking for.
How many strippers have you dated?
Dated? Only a couple. I was in love with one.
How old were you when you made that move?
2 years ago.
You fell in love with the stripper.
I fell in love with yeah. First of all,
is this a country song?
She was. I fell in love. She was not stripping at the time. She was bartending and just giving an occasional lap dance.
Okay.
And really beautiful girl.
I think I've been to that bar.
And fun, but I tell you, OxyContin and alcohol really mess you up. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. But,
yeah, I got some.
But I still love the girl. But she's. I don't think we're getting back together because
that Oxy.
Her husband and her 2 kids. Keep blocking us.
Oh, Jesus, Dom. You're making me feel good. You're making me feel good, some of the choices I made back in the day. Dude, Oxy is,
It's heroin, right?
Yeah, that's one of those things, like even when you get off it, I don't know that you're ever, depending on how long you do it, the same. I lost a buddy of mine to that.
Oh, really?
I got another one. He's not doing so well.
Did you grow up in a neighborhood that was a lot of drugs?
Not like that. Not like that. It was, I grew up, it was cul-de-sac bullshit. It was weed. There was the weed guy. There was the bookie, and then there was booze, obviously, but and some coke when you got older. But like nobody was doing like heroin, and crack was like you're out of your fucking mind because everybody thought if you smoked crack, that was it. You were done.
Well, they say you get addicted the first time.
Now, that's what they said, but I got friends of mine who did, and they're like, yeah, it was all right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're addicted to other things. They didn't have time to be addicted.
Maybe they're
to
just better people than
Maybe they're better, stronger. You have good friends. Let me ask you this. If you had one drug that you think you would like, what would it be? I know what mine is.
If I could do a drug that I've never tried,
you've never tried, and you think that like it's not going to have any repercussions, you just want the feeling. What feeling would it be?
Not Demerol. I have a tie.
What?
I want to know what it feels like that train spotting where you sink into the rug the first time you do heroin.
That's exactly what I want.
But I gotta admit the hallucinating thing, tripping.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't.
Somebody told me like when you're tripping, it's not like you don't know that you're tripping. You see the door fucking melting. You're like, oh, it's because I'm on acid. It's not like those high school films where you'd be like, you thought you could fly and dumb shit like that.
Jump out the window. No, that would scare the shit out of me.
What was that movie with that old guy? Was it something?
Timothy Leary?
Alan Arkin did a part where he played an old guy and he fucking he got addicted to heroin in like his 70s. And he's just like, what the fuck? I'm 70.
That's actually a good idea.
Just to try it at 70?
I mean, I'd rather go out shooting drugs than go out taking,
dick in the ass?
Dick in the ass, yeah. That must hurt, man. That's the thing. You ever think about that seriously, Bill?
Taking one. Yeah, accepting one, I think.
Taking one for the team.
Yeah, taking one for the team. All right, Dom, your number came up. Sorry. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this job.
I don't think so. Could we work this out?
No, I've actually thought about...
Are you really a priest?
How I want to go out.
Yeah. Eaten by wolves.
Eaten by wolves.
Shredded by animals.
Yeah, I either want to live to be like 105, like you live so long that there's like nobody at your funeral because you outlived everyone.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Or You know, because that is
a funny image.
Because that's one of the things. If you live long enough, there's.
I'm sure he had people that cared about.
Oh
him.
yeah, like people doing the eulogy. Like I mean, I met him when he was 87, and he was old. He liked playing cards. He always wore those slippers. He always wore those slippers. But if you die like all my friends. Who have died tragically fucking young, it seems. I mean, you pack the house and everybody's up there crying.
Yeah. You get a good...
That's the only good thing about dying young is everybody gives a fuck. There's articles written about you. There's nothing worse there's nothing worse than dying young, but dying old also is, you're sitting there and you got that fucking old terrified picture.
Right. My Uncle Tony, when he died, he really was very prejudiced and very angry. But he also loved his children. He loved God. He loved mountains. And then when he died, it was so funny.
Does that make up for the racist side?
Yeah. But I'm saying he was that
he
balanced.
He burned crosses on people, but into nature. I love birds.
It's true though. He was really like all that.
Yeah.
And we're standing around the coffin.
You see that mountain? It's for us. That's for us, not these other people.
This is God's country. But when we're around the coffin, we're standing. People lie about people after they died. And this guy, Lee Fideli, who was the first Italian character I ever did, like I got down a little, he said, we're standing there, me, a friend of mine who's a priest, and like a couple of my cousins, and we're standing there over the body, and he goes, he never had a bad word to say about anybody. And we went from crying to fucking laughing. And I'm thinking, I said, all he did was have bad words to say about everybody. And then he goes, listen to this. This is a really old reference. He goes, he never hated anybody except Larry Boa. Right? Larry Boa, the old for the Phillies.
Yeah, second
And he
baseman.
goes and he looks up, he goes, he hated that motherfucker with a vengeance, huh?
Was he a gambler?
No, he didn't gamble. He just hated him. He hated Larry Boa because he hit 175, but he was a great fielder. But I mean, what an obscure reference to make at a funeral.
So in general, back in the day, he probably just didn't like second baseman.
Right.
Straight across the board.
Yeah.
But I love that everybody laughed. I've had a couple of those at like funerals.
We were crying. We went from crying to crying laughing.
I did that one time. A buddy of mine, his dad died, and it was just one of those fucking, tragic. We were young, and he died out of nowhere, and the kid had already lost his mom. It was fucking horrible, and so it was pouring raining to make it even worse. Fucking, remember the movie Seven? It was raining like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go through the service, and now they're gonna put the guy in the ground, and the guy was so popular. I mean, there was just a zillion people there, so they had like one of those pop tents with no sides to it. Mm-hmm. So there's so many fucking people, everybody's jamming in there. Me and my buddy can't get in. We're on the outer ring. We're just getting rained on and shit. And my other asshole friend is just inside the tent, and he's sitting there. We're all crying and stuff, and they're bringing the body down. And all of a sudden, just from the weight of the rain, like this little canal started pouring down and just missing my friend. And my buddy, in the middle of crying, was standing rain, just reached up and adjusted it so it went all over his coat. But he had like this wool kind of coat on, so he couldn't feel it at first. Right. And dude, I'm talking crying, laughing.
Yeah.
Just crying because it was so sad. And that's the thing too that I never thought people ever understand about comics when they have a distasteful joke, like if a boat sinks, there's a plane crash, and you have a joke. They always think it's because you're insensitive, and they sometimes don't understand that it's a defense mechanism where
twisting
it's like,
the pain.
Yeah, I'm feeling something bad. I don't want to feel it, and then you make a fucking joke. Yeah. And then you're laughing because you don't want to feel that. So you're actually doing it because you can. It's kind of I think a form. It's like a dysfunction. It's kind of a form of dysfunction.
Well, like the pedophile jokes, we all know how terrible that is. And yet,
I think there's instances.
But you could twist it around. I usually bring it back on myself, Mm-hmm. Like one joke that says, what about me, Father? I wasn't hot enough for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. To make it me, I wouldn't want to hurt a kid, but there's a good example of something that's caused so many people so much pain. And I'm not just talking about the physical pain, but we do.
Oh no, you end somebody's life when you. That's why that Sandusky guy. Yeah, they shouldn't put those. They should automatically get the death penalty just immediately.
Yeah,
it's all they take them out, dude. If you got a rabid dog in your neighborhood, you fucking put it down. Those sex offender guys, that's it. Because all those people that dude fucked with, it's like that's going to now affect. You want to talk about dating strippers, like how that's going to affect who they pick. who they pick as a wife, how they treat their kids. They might there's a chance that they could, sometimes, I don't know if it happens. I'm going to go beyond my intelligence on this shit, which isn't too hard to do. But all I know is that's generations of therapy.
Yeah, because of the abuse of the they repeat the whoever.
And those
guys, they don't get therapy.
Yeah, you can't put that guy in jail and how long? You're attracted to what you're attracted to, and no amount in a cell.
Well, especially
Dom, if they stuck you in a cell, how long before you wouldn't like big-titted strippers? You'd come out 80 years later. I'm Dom. Bring me to some big-titted stripper. Those guys like 8-year-olds. You stick them in a cell and you talk to them. You try to undo it and show them an adult. They're wired that way. That's it.
How fucking sick is that?
Put them down. It's horrific. It's why I don't believe in a higher power that gives a fuck.
Well, that's a whole different subject, but I understand that. But do you hear that pedophile joke about? You might have tell a joke?
No, not at all.
It's two guys sitting on a bench. I see an 11-year-old boy walk by. One guy, pedophile, says to the other one, he goes, "Boy, he must have been hot back in the day." He must have been something back in the day.
Oh, that's fucking twisted.
Yeah.
And with that, a little more advertising. Tom, you ever been?
I still like the stamp idea.
Stamp.com is tremendous, dude.
What do you got for me, Bill?
Amazon.com.
Oh, really?
Okay, I got a thing now.
Do you mind telling me about it?
Oh, geez, Dom, I would love to. I'm so glad you said that. I was worried that you were going to say, hey, Bill, don't tell me about that.
No, I wouldn't know, because I hear great things about Amazon.com, but I don't know enough.
Oh.
Talk to me, man.
This is the deal. I'm not saying you have to buy something, but the next time you buy something on Amazon.com, if you want to contribute to the podcast, go to BillBurr.com, click on podcast, and on the right-hand side, under the iTunes window, you'll see the little banner for Amazon. If you click on that, buy whatever you want to buy. A pen and pencil set, go buy some used truck. I don't care. Whatever you do, just go through my website, click on the Amazon.com.
Then they'll know people are listening to you and supporting Amazon.com.
So what Amazon.com actually does is they kick me a little bit of money, and then I take 10% of that. I give it to the Wounded Warriors Project. So you can contributing to my
Everybody
podcast.
Wins.
Everybody wins. And you get something in the mail like it's Christmas. That's one of the great things about ordering something offline, because a lot of times you forgot you ordered it and you had a bad day and you come home. There's it's like a present.
That's nice.
And you forget that you bought it.
No, I heard great things about that company. Matter of fact, I was talking to a friend of mine from Cleveland. Oh, by the way, I'm playing Hilarities this week in Cleveland.
Let's hype it. Wow.
Yeah.
What days?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday only.
4 days only. Dude, how great is Nick Costas?
Oh, he's great, yeah. The nervous Nelly of club owners.
One of my and can still knock out a 20-year-old at whatever. What is he, like 65?
Oh, at least.
Still. I was giving him a break there. He's still.
I didn't mean it
benches,
that way. I mean, he's in
curls,
incredible shape.
Yeah, last time I was
he
there.
He rides motorcycles still.
Allegedly, someone who looked like him yanked somebody out of a car and tuned him up a little bit, as they say back east.
Really?
Yeah, the guy kept blowing his horn. Yeah,
Nick's a
Nick
tough
gets
guy.
worked out. Yeah, Nick's no joke. And this is the thing about him too. He truly is a tough guy, because he didn't tell me he did it. Somebody else did. Somebody who doesn't fight. So, I grabbed this guy.
Yeah.
Nick didn't say shit. Somebody else told me the story, and I was laughing my ass off. And I went and said, hey, I heard some guy was beeping the horn. What happened? Because I wanted to hear the story from him. And the way he told the story was, oh, that's right. No, he told me the story first. I said, how's business going? And he tells me the story like, it's been going, I kind of had a problem with this guy. The guy, he kind of, I just had to kind of sort some stuff out or whatever. Just the way he told it. I always thought that would be great in a movie, like him, some real tough guy telling the story, and then you smash cut to like what's really going down.
Banging his head against the car.
Oh yeah, no, like he seemed like he went into one of those rages where you don't even remember what you did.
I wanted to work things out with him,
Yeah, greatest guy ever, and I absolutely love that club. And I'm trying to work on a date there right now. But Dom Irrera, the legendary, the one and only, the guy with the swagger, who has table reads with Renee Zellweger. She calls him Sweetie. Oh. As a jealous Robert De Niro stares bullets at you.
He was
daggers.
Great. Robert De Niro broke character, right? He starts laughing, which I thought was great. One of the greatest American actors. And I say to this guy who wrote the script, I go, it was so fun for me to see Robert De Niro getting the giggles and breaking character. He goes, well, he doesn't really put everything into that. And I said, you don't have to defend Robert De Niro to me. I was in Puss in Boots in children's theater. He's doing Raging Bull, and I'm in Puss in Boots. What a great actor.
It's just a table read. It's I like that he said that to you as if you didn't realize that that's one of the great actors of all time.
Yeah, right.
Because I was going to say,
he's better than that.
Was it all smoke and mirrors? Anybody can get lucky with The Deer Hunter, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Goodfellas. Anybody can get lucky with
Casino.
that. Yeah, Mean Streets.
What was
Come on, let's go back and forth. Let's see how many De Niro movies we
What was the one that he played, Rupert Pumpkin, the comedian?
King of Comedy.
That was great, wasn't it?
Phenomenal. I can't believe I don't own that. That's a sin.
I know.
As a comedian that I don't own that.
My favorite.
All right, let me ask you favorite actor of all time.
Oh, jeez. Comedy or
let's go drama.
Drama?
Something they don't let a lot of comedians do. Even though our lives are so crazy.
The acting compared to movie stars.
Just make sure you have the mic up there, Dom.
Shit.
There we go.
Sorry. I would say maybe Pacino. Maybe Pacino because of A Dog Day Afternoon. But De Niro's right there. I mean, those two guys, and not because they're Italian. I mean, like Ned Beatty's a great actor.
It's not because they're Italian. It's because they've made the greatest movies of the last 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I was joking with some of you.
Well, who's yours before we go?
I'll tell you. I always talk about this. The greatest IMDb page, flawless, is John Cazale.
Oh.
John Cazale's IMDb. He has 5 movies. All were nominated for Best Picture. Godfather. Then he was in The Conversation.
He was in Dog Day Afternoon.
Godfather 2, Dog Day Afternoon, and then The Deer Hunter.
Wow.
He doesn't have one, boat trip. He doesn't have one. I'll do it for the money. Like what? One Bad News Bears Part 3. Like what's a bad room? Those orangutan movies Clint Eastwood was doing. He didn't show up in any of those things. I fucking love those.
That's a really sweet short resume, huh? Those 5 movies. I took a train with him just by coincidence from New York to Boston. Him and his girlfriend were sitting next to me, and we talked the whole time.
Meryl Streep?
No, I don't think so. Was that his girlford?
But towards the end, yeah.
I didn't know her. I didn't know.
That's how good he was. He was giving her tips. I'm not joking. I watched this thing. What's the famous? Fredo, I Knew It Was You. You Broke My Heart. Is
Godfather 2.
2. I Knew It Was You.
In the boat.
So there's a documentary that was on HBO called I Knew It Was You, and it was about John Cazale it's De Niro, Pacino, Meryl Streep, all these just.
He was so great in Dog Day Afternoon. The way he played that psychotic guy.
Yeah.
Remember he didn't even know what Montana was. He thought it was a country or something. Just that innocent stupidity, psychosis.
Never been out of Brooklyn or whatever.
Right.
The whole way that they did the whole thing.
So who's your favorite?
Oh, I have the hackiest lit. I like.
Laurence Olivier. Those guys are great too.
All right. Well, I'll give you the. When I was young, I liked.
Leave me out of this.
I was Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson, I just watched one of his old movies called The Big House in 1955. He had a small part in it. And I'm telling you, as far as like physiques, he's the original fucking Marky Mark.
He's a rock.
He was, he was fucking shredded before people knew how to do P90X because he used to work in mines in Poland.
Yeah.
Like back then, like what I love about the 40s and 50s and even into the 60s, like being in shape just meant you weren't fat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when those guys, when you watch.
Unless you were Hercules or one of those guys. But even some of them back way early didn't have the muscularity.
Yeah, like you watch like Ben-Hur and they're all just like Johnny Weissmuller, they're all sucking their guts in.
Right.
And they always had like some sort of it looked like some sort of wrestling championship belt that they would put almost like a cummerbund that they would always have over their gut, and they would just sort of have their sort of pecs.
Right,
everything was just like they just showed up with what they had.
Not Christopher Reeves. Who was the guy who played Superman?
Christopher Reeves.
No, the older Superman on television.
Yeah, he wasn't in shape.
Well, he wasn't in shape at all. He had like a leotard
on.
The guy
who played Batman wasn't in shape.
No,
he had that giant utility belt.
But his brother was Hercules.
Oh, okay.
Steve Reeves. Okay. And his name was Reeves too, even though he was really in shape. He was excuse me.
Bless you.
He was one of those guys that really looked like Hercules.
And they both the Superman died tragically.
Isn't that weird?
I remember I used to do a bit on Christopher Reeves, and it was after he got paralyzed.
Yeah,
which might seem insensitive, but I was
talking.
But it was no.
It could be
because
misinterpreted.
I was actually talking about what a pussy I was.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like whenever people had like those horrific fucking injuries like that,
my God.
and then they always go, I consider it a blessing. I'm just gonna every day I'm alive and blah blah blah, and like,
Oh, yeah.
and then they always go like, well, God picked them because he knew that he could handle this challenge.
Right.
And my bit was, don't ever fucking pick me because I'll be in that wheelchair going, this is bullshit. Kill me. Fucking kill me. Just being ahead. Fucking kill me. And I was saying I would steer the fucking wheelchair. I'd zoom myself down the stairs. There's no fucking way I could handle. The only thing I could handle is somebody flipping me over and fucking wiping my ass, and I would just be going. I would just have to be joking around. I shouldn't be saying this.
Great
man,
to be alive.
There's a few things I never make fun of. That's when I was younger. I don't make fun of handicapped. I don't like. There are some things I don't make fun of. I don't make fun of special needs kids. It's just shit I don't do. I just feel
you
like,
make fun of like adult retarded kids, retarded people rather.
Okay.
Once they get to a certain age, you can make fun of them.
You want to hear one story that I tell? That I only usually tell off stage. I was at a Red Sox game, Fenway Park, right? And I'm sitting in the bleachers, and there was this family of it was a father with 3 sons. 2 of them were just regular old people, and the other one was special needs, but he was a monster. He was like fucking 6'2", and we were sitting out in center field, and we were almost behind the bullpen. And so this, the weird configurations of Fenway, it's like our row went to a wall, and then the wall went up, and then there was like
left field?
No, right field. Sort of like center field, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, center right. And then there's the center field bleachers where the garage doors. So the kid who had the mental problems was like up against the wall or whatever, and he was, I don't know what his deal was. He was getting worked up. And his dad was telling him to calm down. And he's like, fuck you. He's like cursing. And he was like retarded or whatever. And then his dad finally goes, come on, calm down. I think when the crowd was like, he was getting like amped up. And then the kid got too fucking amped up. Dad said, come on, sit down. And he was like, no, I'm not sitting down. His dad wound up and as hard as he could slugged this kid in the chest. Well, but the dad was like 65 and this kid was like 28 and he was a monster. And he hit him in the chest and the kid just goes, fuck you. Dude, it was one of those things.
Fuck you, daddy.
When no one wanted to laugh.
Right.
But it was fucking... Dude, it was like right out of out of a fucking like over the top comedy.
Right.
And then you were also terrified because you were like, yeah, get that dude settled down because he's big enough to kill all of us. What am I doing? I'm talking about people in wheelchairs. This is all the shit I don't talk about.
I got a Charles Bronson story that I was doing a roast for Mickey Rooney, right? And I'm there with Martin Landau, George Siegel, me, Charles Bronson. This is the half of the day of someone.
Jesus Christ.
And Charles Bronson, I just turned to him, and he was very quiet, And I said to him, I got to tell you, it's really cool to meet you. And he goes, without even inflecting and making any emotion, he goes, pass me that napkin, will you? And I go, yeah, how fucking cool is that? Bronson, he's so rude. I love it, right? So I go up on stage, and I'm like roasting not only Mickey Rooney, but like other people in the dais. And I tell the story about Bronson. I go, how cool that he's like, this is Charles, this guy, this Death Wish guy, and all that. And he's so cold that he doesn't even accept a compliment. He just asks me for a napkin. And then I come and I sit down, and he goes, hey, man, I'm sorry. I can't hear out of this ear. I go, oh, shit. I wanted you to be mean,
Dude, I loved all those guys. And I was wondering the other day, like I was talking to somebody going, like, why did the stars back then, the Lee Marvins, the Bronsons, and all them, like, why did they seem... Dude, those guys were like 130, 140 pounds, but they had that vibe. Like, I would never fuck with that guy. And then you look at the stars today, you look at Brad Pitt, fuck him or whatever. The guy's like 6'2", 6'3", shredded, right? It's the highlights in his hair. I don't know what it is, but fucking, I finally was reading something about Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin fought in World War II. And like he was like one of 2 people who survived in his entire platoon. He got a Purple Heart and all that. And it's like, no wonder he seemed like such a fucking badass.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Remember him in the Wild one? Marlon Brando? You should check that out.
Wild, I think the big red one was Lee Marvin. The Wild one, was that the one with the motorcycle one?
Yeah.
I saw that, but you know what's the worst? The cringeworthy moment in that movie is when they start singing, those 2 actors, and you can clearly see that they're actors playing tough guys. They start singing like some sort of doo-wop at the end of the bar, and they're supposed to be shocking the bartender. Dude, it's such a douche chills moment where...
I don't remember that. That was in Wild One?
That's when he's got the Harley and they're coming to town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one where he goes, that's cornball style. Marlon Brando had that line.
Do you know when you play the Wilbur Theater in Boston, that green room? Brando lived there.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had heard that
they always tell the story like when he was a broke actor, he was doing theater, and that was like some sort of dressing room. He was so broke he actually stayed there.
I'm afraid of that place when there's people in there. I can't imagine going to bed. That place is haunted.
Oh, you think it is? Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't believe in them. Although when I come down here, I kind of.
I heard one time. I heard one so clearly, and. I'm in my.
What did it say? Boo.
No, it coughed. Just kept coughing. It was.
I don't get any sort of laugh on that. Like, clearly, I heard the ghost real clearly. He had broadcaster speech. Sorry.
No. I'm in bed. I had a studio apartment. I just moved out for my wife, and I hear a cough. I go, guy's got a cough. I go, guy's got a cough. Who's in here? It's only a studio. So I go and I look. And I walked through a field of energy that my hair stood up in the back. I got the chills, but like a chilling feeling. And I go, oh, shit, it was during the day, too. So I get down to the office and I tell.
Wait, now when you walk through that energy, did the person like take over your body and you started making like some pottery?
I started moonwalking around the apartment. But anyway, I said to the apartment manager, I said, this is weird. She goes, oh, that's the ghost with the smoking cough. Right? There was a regular ghost there.
That is... This is what I don't understand. So what the fuck is with that stupid show, Ghost Hunters? They can't find a ghost to save their goddamn life. That show is the funniest fucking show on TV.
But don't they find, like, energy?
They don't find anything. And then they always know the name of the ghost, and they're like, Ellen, you got 20 minutes to show yourself, or else what? I'm here forever. I don't understand. I don't know about that shit. I don't know that I
You don't believe in God?
I believe that there's something beyond all the questions we have. I believe in all that stuff that's beyond us, but we don't know what it is. And religion is a guess, and it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't. That whole fucking, hey, you gotta have faith. It's like, no, you don't have the fucking answers. To me, religion is science. Okay, science gives me fucking answers. And if they don't have answers, they go, well, we got to work on it. And then they gradually figure out more shit. But then there's the spiritual side where you do something good, you feel good. You do something bad, you feel bad.
Right.
And
but unless you're a psychopath.
Yeah, unless you're like a psychopath. Yeah. I believe in that. And that's that feeling I feel is in everybody, unless you're a psychopath. And I feel that religion exploits that. And they turn it into a science. They turn it into this formula.
A business, too.
And then they turn it into this punishment thing. And then there's this fucking guy who's mad at me because I got a lap dance. And it's like when you really just start reading about space and how fucking gigantic the goddamn universe is, the fact that, you're staring at me. It's like me looking at a fucking an amoeba and getting upset about what the fuck it's doing with other amoebas.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
The fact that God would need to be praised and sung to would seem like he's insecure.
Big time.
But how could he be God? But that's where I don't get,
Yeah, and it's like if I'm a fuck up, it's like you made me. Like, where is your responsibility? That's like if I build a car and it doesn't go and I get mad at the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You fucking this car is evil. It needs to be thrown into a pit of fire. I think if you're a piece of shit, you I actually have another philosophy on this. If you're a piece of shit, you basically get yours in life. You do, unless the brilliance of a sociopath is karma doesn't affect you, I don't think, unless you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then you don't feel like you did anything bad and you just don't attract anything bad to you. But if you actually feel guilty, you bring it to you. Because there's guys, I'm not going to name guys because I've seen guys in this fucking business just do people who they just such a piece of shit. It gets to the point where you're not even mad.
Bobby Collins.
It's like funny. I don't know Bobby like that, but it becomes like funny. You don't even get mad. It's like what, like
yeah. Well, I don't want to name names.
I remember there was a guy. This dude, I knew. He borrowed somebody's workout bench. And he said, "Yeah, I'll give it back to you in a week." And the dude came back in a week and he sold it. He sold it for like for I forget what, for like some drugs or something. And what I loved about it was just that in the moment of it, of like, yeah, eventually in 6 days this guy is going to come back. And right. But for these next 6 days, I don't have to deal with that guy. In that moment, I want drugs, so right. Fuck you. Yeah. So like that's that type of shit that's such a dirtbag move. But that thing. Like, if he had done it to me, I would be mad, but the joy I would get out of retelling the story.
Right.
Going, can you fucking believe this guy? Everybody laughing, like the joy that I would get out of it. Like,
it's worth losing the bench.
I could only get so mad at him. When you, speaking of that, like who, I never name names. I try not to name names on like the podcast or something like that, but I guess there's always people that, you know, not that I'm co-signing on whoever the hell you just said that, because I don't know the guy like that. But I don't know. We're like an hour in, Dom. How easy with this hour?
Seamless with you, Bill.
Seamless.
You're terrific.
Listen, you know.
May I say that you're one of the best comedians around? May I say that without the risk of it's turning into the Sammy Moylan show?
Well, Dom, I learned from stealing from you. I stole all my stuff from you. I just turned it into the
Irish
you
made it
thing.
Better, man.
Huh?
Can I steal it back now?
He makes it better.
Can I steal it back now that it's getting tighter?
Let me just give me another 6 months with it. Hey, you know what I learned today? You cannot get a breakfast burrito on Easter Sunday at any of these Mexican taco stands. Speaking of Jesus, Mexicans are down with Jesus. I went to 3 different places to get a breakfast burrito. And when I get a breakfast burrito, I don't want it made by white people who looked over some Mexican guy's shoulder. I want the real fucking deal.
Well, once you go to 2, don't you think it's time to give up?
I thought it was a fluke.
The fact that you went to 3 is kind of sad.
No, I went to the first one.
When people think of you as a celebrity, it's kind of sad seeing you driving around Hollywood
in a Prius.
No burritos. What? It's Easter, man. It's Easter. Oh man.
One of them just had a big picture of Jesus in the window. I don't know if it's there every time. Old J-Star. Hey, Dom, do you play video games?
I do, Bill.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite? What do you want to do? Asteroids? Pac-Man? You old school like me? I loved asteroids. You hit hyperspace.
I like Ms. Pac-Man.
Ms. Pac-Man?
I got addicted to that so badly that I would see it in my sleep. Or when I closed my eyes, I'd see like the eating.
That's when you know. That's when you know you love video games. I used to play some sort of sniper game. And I remember one day I played it like 8 hours a day, and then I walked out on the street, and they had this thing like when you would get somebody in the scope, like the scope would just fit right over their skull.
Right.
That cross, the X. And I was walking down the street, and I was just looking at people across the street, and I was seeing that X on their head.
It could blow them away.
It was awesome. All right, Gamefly.com, Dom Herrera. This is the best way to rent video games.
Wait a minute. Slow down a second. Gamefly.com?
Gamefly.com. Like basketball's a game.
Yeah.
And could you please zip up your fly?
Is
Gamefly. No, it's not open. If it was, I wouldn't tell you, Dom. I think you're adorable. The best way to rent video games. Over 8,000 console games. There's no late fees. You can cancel anytime. They're introducing unlimited PC play. Look, if you don't have a PC, they'll just deliver the games to you. You get a 15-day free trial, Dom. 8,000 games at your fingertips. Use up all your vacation time. Sit there like Howard Hughes, growing your nails in your hair, ordering pizzas, play every game you ever wanted to play for free for 15 days. And then you can call them up after 15 days and be like, yeah, you know what? I got to get on with my life. Or you can accept how awesome this is, and you can keep going to and using it. This is what I would do if I had the time to get back into video games, which I would love to do because I haven't played them in 5 years.
Are you serious? You were that addicted that you had to...
Oh, dude, I played the Grand Theft Auto 3. It just took over my life. And then I loved it so much, I played it for another year after, where I would just use the cheats and I would go on a rampage. And I would... And I didn't like when the Army showed up. I liked those Secret Service cars that they would show up. It kind of looked like the Caprice Classics, but they were like hooked up. And I used to try to see how long... I don't know. They would start shooting.
What did your wife think of it?
About that,
was a little obsessive.
A little bit of obsessiveness. Wait a minute, I got to type this back.
Hey, did you ever do Captain Brian's in Marco Island?
Captain Brian's in Marco Island. No, I didn't. I got to finish this though. Go to gamefly.com/Burr BURR to activate this special offer. Look at me hooking you guys up. You listen to this damn thing. You can support the troops. You can have the post office in your own apartment, and now you can have 8,000 video games at your fingertips. And on top of that, I give you an hour of Dom Irrera.
Oh, I mean, we barely scratched the surface.
That's right. So what do you say? Captain Morgan's out in...
Captain Brian's. It's in Marco Island. I wonder if you're ever there. I'm there in a couple weeks.
Dude, by all means, hype everything you got. We're an hour and 6 in. You know what we're going to do, Dom? We're going to leave him wanting more. That old show business thing.
Atlantic City, June 30th, Tropicana.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm no bullshit, and I'm not just saying it because he's sitting here staring at me like, please compliment me.
So needy, with a needy, dumb dog look on his face.
Dom Irrera, always funny. Always funny, straight on through. I've never seen you in front of any fucking crowd, any situation where you're not hilarious. No bullshit, no hacky lines, goes on stage, assesses the crowd, and you're one of the funniest fucking ball breakers ever met. I love you, Dom.
I love you too. Ditto, Bill.
Great to have you on here drinking
Appreciate
a little vino. Man. This is the Monday Morning Podcast. Go fuck yourselves. Don't take any shit. I hope you guys had a good time listening to this. And Dom, thank you so much for honoring me by coming by.
It's a pleasure, man. It's fun to be here.
And I hope you enjoyed the wine that you brought that I gave you.
I think I'll go buy another bottle and bring it back here.
You did everything.
Because I drank some of it.
You did everything but bring the glasses. I owe you, man. All right, brother.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you.